Have you ever woken up in the morning and thought, where did my energy go? Or maybe you've caught yourself saying, I'm just not as spry as I used to be. Well, my friend, you're not alone. But here's the good news. What if I told you that a few simple everyday habits could help you feel more vibrant, more you, and maybe even add a decade to your life? Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? But stick with me, because today, we're diving into 7 daily habits that could do just that. And the best part, they're not complicated. In fact, you might already be doing some of them. Let's start with something so simple, so basic, that most of us don't give it a second thought: water. Now, I know what you're thinking. Really? Hydration. But here's the thing. As we age, our bodies don't always send clear signals when we're thirsty. Before you know it, you're feeling sluggish, achy, or even foggy-headed, and all because of a little dehydration. My neighbor Margaret swore her afternoon headaches were just part of getting older. Then she started keeping a water bottle by her chair while she knit. And guess what? Those headaches vanished. So here's your first habit. Sip water throughout the day. Don't wait until you're parched. Keep a glass or bottle nearby. Maybe while you're reading, watching your favorite show, or puttering in the garden. And if plain water feels boring, jazz it up with a slice of lemon, cucumber, or even a sprig of mint. Your joints, your skin, and your energy levels will thank you. Now, let's talk about movement. I'm not saying you need to run a marathon or lift weights like a gym rat. But here's a truth we all know deep down. If you don't use it, you lose it. My friend Carl used to say his favorite exercise was pushing his luck, until his knees started creaking like an old rocking chair. Then his grandkids got him a pedometer, and he turned it into a game. 10,000 steps a day, he'd say. Nah, I aim for 5,000 and call it a win. The key is to find what feels good for you. Maybe it's a morning stroll around the block, gentle stretches while the coffee brews, or even dancing to your favorite old tunes while you vacuum. The goal: just get your blood flowing. Because every little bit adds up. Better circulation, stronger muscles, and a happier mood. And hey, if Carl can turn his walk into a daily adventure, complete with a hat and a walking stick he swears is for style, so can you. Now, here's a habit that's often overlooked but just as powerful as the others. Staying connected. You've heard the saying, no man is an island, right? Well, science backs this up. Studies show that seniors with strong social ties tend to live longer, healthier lives. And I'm not just talking about family reunions or big parties. It's the little moments, calling a friend to share a funny story, joining a book club, or even waving to the mail carrier. Take my cousin Edna. After her husband passed, she spent months feeling lonely, until she started volunteering at the local library. Now, she's the queen of the Tuesday morning story hour, and she's made more friends in her 70s than she did in her 30s. So, if you're feeling isolated, reach out. Send a text, host a coffee hour, or just strike up a conversation at the grocery store. Your heart, and your lifespan, will reap the rewards. So far, we've covered 3 habits: hydrate, move, and connect. Simple, right? But here's the secret. They work best when you do them together. Drink water on your walk with a friend, and suddenly you're tackling 3 habits in one go. Now, I know change can feel overwhelming, so start small. Pick one thing to focus on this week. Maybe fill that water bottle first thing in the morning, or call a loved one while you stretch your legs. And in the next part, we'll keep building on these habits, because there's so much more to explore. Think of it like planting a garden. You've already got the first few seeds in the soil. Now, let's help them grow. Until next time, remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Why not take yours today? You know, when we talk about nurturing our health, it's a lot like tending a garden. You've planted those first seeds: hydration, movement, connection, and now it's time to give them the right fuel to grow. Which brings me to our next habit: eating for vitality. Now, I'm not here to tell you to give up your favorite treats or count every calorie. Life's too short for that. But let's talk about how small tweaks to your plate can make a big difference. Take my brother-in-law, Frank. He used to live on canned soup and toast. Quick and easy, he'd say. But after his doctor suggested adding more color to his meals, he started tossing a handful of spinach into his eggs or slicing strawberries onto his oatmeal. Within weeks, he said he felt like he'd unstuck his energy. So here's your fourth habit. Fill half your plate with color. Think leafy greens, bright peppers, juicy berries. Anything that looks like it came straight from the earth. These foods pack vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants that keep your heart strong, your digestion smooth, and your mind sharp. And if you're cooking for one, frozen veggies are just as good. No chopping required. Now, let's chat about something we all love but don't always prioritize. Sleep. And I'm not talking about those cat naps in your recliner during the evening news. I mean real, restorative sleep. As we age, our sleep patterns can shift. Maybe you're up at 4 a.m. watching infomercials, or you toss and turn for hours. But here's the thing. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you groggy. It's linked to everything from memory troubles to a weaker immune system. My Aunt Clara used to joke that she'd sleep when she's dead, until her doctor explained that quality sleep might actually help her avoid an early checkout. So she started a simple bedtime routine, dimming the lights an hour before bed, sipping chamomile tea, and reading instead of scrolling through her tablet. Within a week, she was sleeping through the night. So here's habit 5. Protect your sleep like it's gold. Keep your bedroom cool and dark, skip the late-night caffeine, and try to wind down with something calming, a warm bath, soft music, or even a few minutes of deep breathing. Your body repairs itself while you snooze, so give it the time it deserves. Now let's tackle a habit that's as fun as it is important. Keeping your mind curious. You've heard the phrase, use it or lose it, right? Well, that applies to your brain too. But don't worry, this isn't about memorizing textbooks or solving advanced calculus. It's about finding little ways to challenge yourself every day. My neighbor Herb retired from teaching 15 years ago and swore he'd never pick up another book. Then his granddaughter got him hooked on Sudoku puzzles. Now he does one every morning with his coffee, to wake up the OL noggin, as he puts it. And guess what? Studies show that activities like puzzles, reading, or even learning a new hobby can help keep your memory strong and your mind agile. So here's habit 6. Play brain games. It could be as simple as swapping your usual TV show for a documentary, trying a new recipe, mistakes included, or even brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. The goal: keep that gray matter guessing. So far, we've added 3 more tools to your longevity toolkit: nourish, rest, and challenge your mind. And just like before, these habits work best when they team up. Maybe you listen to an interesting podcast while prepping a veggie-packed dinner, or you wind down with a puzzle before bed. The magic is in the mix. Now, I know this might feel like a lot, but remember, you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one change. Maybe swap that afternoon cookie for a handful of nuts and berries, or trade 15 minutes of screen time for a crossword. Small steps lead to big wins. And in our final part, we'll round out these habits with one last cornerstone of longevity, something that's often misunderstood but incredibly powerful. Think of it as the sunshine that helps your garden truly thrive. Until then, why not share in the comments? What's one small change you'll try this week? I'd love to hear from you. You know, a garden doesn't just need water, soil, and sunshine to thrive. It needs something else, something invisible but essential: joy. That spark of gratitude for the simple beauty around you. And that brings us to our 7th and final habit. Cultivate positivity. Now, I'm not saying you have to plaster on a smile 24/7 or ignore life's challenges. But research shows that folks who practice gratitude and lean into life's little joys tend to live longer, healthier lives. It's like sunshine for the soul. Let me tell you about my friend, Rose. After she retired, she started feeling like her best days were behind her. Then her daughter gave her a gratitude jar, a mason jar with a notebook tucked inside. Every morning, Rose writes down one thing she's thankful for. Some days it's big. My granddaughter's laugh. Other days it's tiny. The way my tea tastes just right. She told me, it's like training my eyes to spot the good stuff. And over time, that jar filled up, and so did her heart. So here's your 7th habit. Find your joy, and write it down. Keep a gratitude journal, take mental snapshots of happy moments, or even share them with a loved one. It could be the smell of fresh-cut grass, a phone call with an old friend, or finally beating your grandson at chess. When you focus on the good, your stress levels drop, your immune system gets a boost, and honestly, life just feels lighter. Now, let's take a step back and look at the whole picture. We've talked about 7 daily habits: staying hydrated, moving your body, connecting with others, nourishing yourself with colorful foods, protecting your sleep, challenging your mind, and nurturing joy. But here's the secret. None of these habits exist in a vacuum. Drink water on your walk with a friend, and you're hitting 3 habits at once. Whip up a veggie stir-fry while listening to a fascinating podcast. That's nourishment for your body and your brain. The key isn't perfection. It's progress. Maybe today you forget to drink enough water, but you call your sister and laugh until your sides hurt. That's a win. Maybe tomorrow you skip your walk but spend an hour in the garden, soaking up the sun. That's a win too. Small steps, my friend. They add up to miles over time. So, what's next? Well, that's up to you. Pick one habit that resonates. Maybe the one that feels easiest, or the one that tugs at your heart, and start there. Share your journey in the comments below. I'd love to hear what's working for you, what's making you smile, or even what's frustrating you. We're all in this together, after all. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel. Every click helps us reach more folks just like you. Wise, wonderful, and ready to make the most of every year ahead. Here's to you, to your health, your joy, and the extraordinary ordinary moments that make life worth living. However many candles are on your birthday cake, remember, the best is yet to come.